On our wedding night, my husband's sister, Bella, rushed into our room wearing a camisole nightie. "John, I had a nightmare, I'm so scared. Can you stay with me?" Before I could say anything, John quickly threw her out. "Go find your mom if you're scared. I'm staying with my wife." After 3 years of dating, John and I finally tied the knot. On our wedding night, I was taking a shower. John's sister, Bella, didn't stay put in her own room. She came into our room, acting all cutesy with John. "I had a nightmare, I'm so scared, can you stay with me tonight?" Her sweet voice and pitiful expression didn't seem like how you talk to your brother. John was waiting for me outside the bathroom. When Bella entered, he turned around, unintentionally backing me up. "Bella, how did you get in here?" John was furious. I'd never heard him so stern before. Bella didn't seem scared at all. She even tried to get closer to John. Hiding behind the door, I got goosebumps, remembering John's dad and Bella's mom are from a blended family, so Bella and John aren't blood related. A ridiculous thought popped into my head. Could Bella and John have something going on? Bella pouted and pitifully said, "I just turned the doorknob, and it opened automatically." John got even angrier at this excuse. "You're lying. I locked the door. You can't just walk in. Do you have a key to my room?" Before Bella could answer, John demanded, "Hand over the key and get out. If you come back, there will be consequences." John's reaction reassured me a bit. It seemed like John wasn't interested in her, it was Bella's one-sided crush. But come on, John just married me. Bella pulled this stunt on our wedding night just to irritate me, right? I don't have a key. That nightmare was so terrifying, and instead of comforting me, you're yelling at me. Bella's sweet talk made me sick. She's clearly a troublemaker. What made me angrier was her trying to hug John. John quickly dodged like he was avoiding something dirty. "Go find your mom if you're scared. I'm with my wife." Bella missed her target and hit her head on the bathroom door frame, immediately getting a big bump on her forehead. Bella started crying pitifully. "Why didn't you catch me? It hurts. My forehead hurts." John ignored her, looking happily at me fresh out of the shower. "Finally, you're done. I've been waiting forever." Without a wife around, doesn't he have his sister? I pretended to be upset, keeping a straight face. John awkwardly hugged me, trying to explain. I didn't let her in. She barged in. "Wait, is that my room key?" John spotted a key on the floor, picked it up, and his expression darkened. Glaring at Bella, he snapped, "How do you explain this? Why did the key fall from you?" "It's not." Bella stammered, not expecting the evidence to fall out. She tried denying it. Without another word, John dragged her out. "I'm changing the locks tomorrow. Don't ever step foot in my room again." After forcing Bella out, John tried to explain, "She's got issues. I have nothing to do with her. You're the only one I love." I believed him. John was very attached. He spent all his free time with me, never hiding anything, even letting me check his phone. If something was up with Bella, I would have figured it out. I feigned a sigh. "You might not be interested in her, but she's clearly interested in you. And wasn't her nightie identical to mine?" That irked me more. I wanted to rip my nightie to shreds. John decided to act, and cheekily suggested, "We don't need matching nighties. Tomorrow, I'll get you 10 prettier ones." "John, you scoundrel." He gazed lovingly at me. "Time is precious, why waste it on an outsider?" The next day, I woke up nearly at noon. I felt like I'd been hit by a truck, aching all over. John lifted me up, lovingly pecking my cheek. "Freshen up and eat something. You can nap all afternoon if you want." I didn't want to get up. But since it's John's dad's house, I figured they'd be annoyed if I missed lunch too. When we got downstairs, everyone was there. Bella's forehead had a bandage. Last night's bump seemed bad. Even injured, she still tried to badmouth me to John's dad. Emma, you finally woke up. Dad and Mom waited for an hour. They were too embarrassed to nudge you awake. John placed a bowl of soup in front of me and retorted. She was already awake. I hadn't had enough sleep. She was doing yoga waiting for me. You should learn a bit from my wife with your time. Bella turned green with envy. If you were up, why didn't you come down? The yoga thing's clearly a lie. Bella was right about the yoga thing. I was too tired to get out of bed, but John calmly claimed I'd done yoga. Just when I was about to speak, John tugged my hand under the table and loudly set his bowl down. Have you lied so much you think everyone else is lying too? And you're calling her by name like she's younger than you are. Aren't you embarrassed? Bella and her mother Mary tried to calm things down as John scolded, trying to get close by calling her sister. Are you sisters? Or do you not consider me family, so you ignore my wife? Being a woman myself, I bet John's stepmom isn't blind. Bella's interest in John is so obvious, she must know about it and might even be okay with it. Too bad they underestimated John's personality and overestimated Bella's charm. Aunt Mary, Bella's no spring chicken. Doing foolish things like this, won't people talk about how she wasn't raised right? Just lucky my wife won't sweat the small stuff. Anyone else would have flipped out the day after getting hitched. After John's bold words, their faces were like a color palette, constantly changing. I held John's hand and softly said, "It's okay, don't be mad. They say peace at home brings prosperity." Playing the innocent act? Easy as pie. John, feeling proud, said to Bella, "See that? Learn from your sister-in-law, be a bigger person." Bella was fuming but didn't dare to lash out at John, so she just glared at me. With her stare and John's fantastic display today, I was suddenly in a really good mood. I finished off all the food John had served me. After lunch, the locksmith arrived. Under the astonished gaze of the other three, we went upstairs and had our bedroom door lock changed to a fingerprint lock. Only John and I can get in now. Bella won't be able to step into our room anymore. Coming back down, John's dad, Peter, was sitting on the couch with a scowl. What was wrong with the old lock? Why change it? Afraid of thieves? John wasn't fazed by his dad's black face at all. It's worse than a thief if we don't change it. I stifled a laugh. Exactly. A thief steals money, but Bella wants more than that. I wasn't sure what Peter was thinking when he looked at me. What's that about? Thinking I whispered in John's ear to cause trouble the day after our wedding? John chimed in right on cue. Dad, why are you staring at my wife? I had a feeling if Peter said something John didn't like, he'd get the Bella treatment. But Peter didn't linger on that, he switched topics to Bella. Your sister's been convalescing at home for a year now. Bella and I are the same age and graduated the same year. I went to work at my family's company, while Bella stayed at home for a year due to a broken hand. Peter bringing up Bella now wasn't without reason. Isn't her hand still hurting? You have money and love taking care of her, what's another year or two? Even 10 or 20, I wouldn't mind. Even I could hear the sarcasm dripping from John's words. But Peter, unfazed, insisted, what kind of talk is this? People can't go without working forever. How about this, let Bella help in the company, learn a bit, and assist you. So, all this was just to shove Bella into the family company? John didn't argue, sure, the admin department could use another person. She can start tomorrow. Peter wasn't pleased. Admin's grunt work. How can you have your sister do that? Without your influence, she wouldn't be doing even grunt work. The company's other employees are top grads. Bella, whose grades were just average, wants to work in admin. Does she think she can be a manager? Peter stayed silent. He probably did think that, trying to force a non-blood related daughter into a key department. My heart ached for John. Does Peter even remember who his real child is? Admin or bust, dreaming of being a manager is just that, a dream. John pulled me out of the villa, opened the car door, and practically shoved me in. "Honey, where are we headed?" I was concerned about John and pissed at Peter's biased attitude. Bella's mom must be something to have him wrapped around her finger. Though John was all serious, his eyes lit up hearing honey. He turned, cupped my face, and looked at me warmly. "What did you just call me?" I blushed, trying to play dumb. "John, what's up?" When John was pursuing me, he was shameless, calling me all sorts of pet names till I couldn't keep up. John smirked. "Liar, you didn't say John, you said honey." "Say it again." I playfully smacked him, incredulous. "Seriously, now's not the time to hear me call you husband. Forgot you're still mad?" He held my hand and kissed it playfully till I giggled at the tickle. Why let someone else's stupidity ruin my day? Realization dawned on me. Your anger just now was just for show for Dad. John didn't answer directly but instead smiled mischievously. Being mad, not wanting to go home, isn't it reasonable? Suddenly excited, I asked, "So we're not going back to the old place tonight?" We were supposed to stay 3 nights at the family home, John's dad's tradition. But honestly, being there was anything but comfortable with Bella eyeing John. "We're not going back. I'm so tired of having so many nosy people around. We'll go back to our place and live our life how we want. Besides, I married you to enjoy life, not to suffer through this. If I just let this go, I'd be a lousy husband." His words touched me deeply. There are too many husbands who do nothing between family and wife, so my expectations for John weren't high. But at that moment, my low expectations soared. My heart was full of warmth, a bit sour, but sweet. I leaned in, hugging him. "Why are you so good to me?" John patted my hair. "Silly, you're my wife. Who should I be good to if not you?" As soon as things got cozy, John ruined it. "But, babe, if you're so moved, then tonight." Whatever he wanted to say wasn't going to be proper, so I quickly covered his mouth. "Just drive, I'm exhausted. I really need to catch up on sleep." Our honeymoon was amazing, and even with work, we weren't ready for it to end. Our companies weren't very far apart. At lunch, either I'd go to John's office or he'd come to mine, and we'd eat together. Bella showed up twice to interrupt, only to be turned away by John. Yeah, she was so eager to report to the admin position John's dad looked down on. I'm not sure how Peter felt, but if I were him, I'd be pretty embarrassed. I was waiting in John's office, ready to go out for lunch after his meeting. Suddenly, Bella burst in. "I ordered some takeout from that restaurant you liked." She stopped halfway, realizing I was there. Her face instantly fell. "Emma, why is it you again?" The last time John scolded her, she finally stopped calling me Emma. I closed my sketchbook and laughed, asking her, "What did I do this time? Who told you it was okay to barge in without knocking? Is this your office? Do you think you have the right to speak here? You run to my brother's place 3 times a day. How thick-skinned can you be? Have you never listened to what people say about you?" I have no idea where Bella found the nerve to say that. She's the one who runs to John 3 times a day and keeps bothering him. Yet, she has the audacity to twist things and blame me. If someone didn't know better, they'd think she was John's wife and I was the other woman. What do they say about me? That I'm good-looking, from a prestigious family, and a perfect match for John? I retorted. Bella slammed the takeout down on the coffee table and snapped, "Emma, what are you so smug about? You just got luckier than others at birth. Why keep patting yourself on the back? Did I hit a nerve? Why are you so worked up?" I glanced down and moved the shopping bag aside, the one with the shirt I got for John. Now the takeout oil is splattered all over. You better think about how you'll explain that to your brother. John's a neat freak, the severe kind. Hearing this, Bella's arrogant demeanor slightly faded, and her face paled a bit. Now you're scared? Too bad, it's too late. Wait, what's in your bag? Bella suddenly noticed it and forgot about everything else. What's it to you? Clean up the table and get out. I didn't want to waste any more words on Bella or have her in my face any longer. Might as well kick her out. But unfortunately, Bella couldn't, or wouldn't, take a hint. She reached for the bag, pulled out the white shirt. Seeing it was for John, Bella immediately trashed it, calling it worthless. What's this, some flea market stuff? Never heard of it. Don't you know my brother will break out if he wears anything but those two specific brands? I bet she said that because John once brushed her off with that excuse. But too bad, that assumption doesn't work here. Feigning shock, I said, really? I didn't know. Last year, I got him a $20 shirt online, and he happily wore it all year. Really? Bella wasn't even mad, she started laughing. I frowned, thinking based on what I knew of her, Bella shouldn't be reacting like this. Suddenly, Bella picked up a box of takeout, opened the lid, and poured the oil right onto the white shirt in front of me. Are you crazy, Bella? I reached out to grab it, but it was too late. The white shirt was stained red with oil, greasy and nasty. Oh oops, my hand slipped. Looks like your brother can't wear this shirt now. Bella's innocent expression was overshadowed by her smug look, as if to ask what I could do about her deliberate act. What can't he wear now? Bella, what are you doing here? John's voice came from the doorway. Turning around, I realized Bella hadn't closed the door when she came in. Looks like John's meeting ended. Bella spoke before I could. Sorry, I thought you liked food from this restaurant, so I brought some back. Didn't mean to slip and dirty the shirt your wife got for you. Just moments ago she called me Emma, and now in front of John, she addressed me as sister-in-law. John walked closer and asked, what shirt? The shirt on the table was nearly unrecognizable. I saw this shirt on my way here, thought it would be nice for you, so I bought it. I responded calmly. I originally intended it to be a little surprise for John. But before I had the chance to show him, Bella gave me this big surprise. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Tell you what, I'll pay for a new one, no, 2 shirts. Bella said apologetically, holding up 2 fingers. Her fake sincerity was nauseating. As if she wasn't just looking for an excuse to make John wear clothes bought by her. John didn't speak. He picked up the oil-stained shirt and shook his head. Too bad it's ruined before I even got to wear it. I thought John would be mad and give Bella a piece of his mind. But right now, he was too calm. Even I couldn't figure out what was on his mind at that moment. Don't touch it, the shirt's ruined, don't get your hands dirty. Bella quickly grabbed the shirt from John's hand and threw it into the trash can without hesitation. I'll buy you new clothes after work, 2 shirts. Bella chirped happily. John's lack of anger only encouraged Bella further. She glanced at me, seemingly having remembered something. And I'll get a shirt for sister-in-law too, consider it a gift of apology. Don't be mad, okay? Bella said with a wink and a look of triumph. She must have thought John's outburst at home was a fluke. And after being married for a while, John and I had cooled off. But then John's next move completely shattered her smugness. John didn't retrieve the shirt from the trash. Instead, he walked over to the bookshelf, pulled out a pair of scissors, and before Bella and I could react, he snatched Bella's Chanel handbag off the sofa. With a loud snip, he cut the bag in 2. 1 second it was a luxury, the next it was just a pile of scraps. Bella was stunned for 3 full seconds before she broke down and rushed over. Why did you cut up my bag? This was a birthday gift from Dad, and I've only used it twice. John dropped the scissors and said with a forced smile, weren't you just saying you accidentally ruined the shirt my wife gave me? My hand just slipped, too. That's when Bella realized John's earlier calm was only the calm before the storm. It wasn't an accident. You did it on purpose. Bella clutched the ruined bag, almost in tears. I bet her heart was breaking. The shirt I bought for John cost a few $100, while the cost of this mess was a fortune, 10 times or even 100 times more. It wasn't just a bad deal, it was a massive loss. John chuckled coldly. I did it on purpose. I told you to stay out of my office, but you don't listen, and you ruined the gift my wife gave me. All that calmness earlier was just an act. John wasn't just angry, he was fuming. I mean, who even thinks of going as far as sabotaging someone's bag like that? But honestly, I think he did great. It felt pretty satisfying. If this ever happens again, you won't need to stay at the company, just get lost as far as you can. John doesn't hold back when he's pissed, and Bella's face turned pale. She ran out of his office, crying and covering her face. She might have run away easily, but just look at the mess my office is now, John complained to me. And the new clothes you bought me, I haven't even worn them yet. John pulled my hand, looking all pitiful. His expression said it all. I felt both amused and a bit annoyed. Just call the cleaning lady. Otherwise, your office will smell like food all afternoon, and you won't get any work done. John's a neat freak and super picky. We never eat in the office, but Bella apparently didn't get that memo. Ruining the clothes I gave John really ticked him off, and then filling his entire office with the smell of food? No wonder he blew a gasket. John looked even more aggrieved. You know that's not what I meant. So what did you mean? Don't even mind your office smelling like food? John, did your cleanliness improved? I pretended to wonder aloud, but I was about to burst out laughing inside. John quickly moved over and pinned me down on the couch, playing dumb, huh? Bella got my clothes dirty, so you owe me. You said Bella messed them up. How can you blame me? Then John started tickling me in frustration. Not going to pay? Then no food for us today. John teased, pressing me down meaningfully. After working all morning, my stomach was growling empty. I quickly surrendered. All right, after dinner we'll go buy clothes, 10 of them, happy now? My hubby was so wronged, he deserved to be cheered up. John looked a bit pleased, then slightly disappointed. Honestly, babe, you didn't have to promise. My face felt a little warm, and I playfully pinched his nose. Your thoughts are dangerous, better put them away. I shoved him off and got up before he reacted. Neither John nor I let Bella get to us. Before we headed downstairs, John told the secretary on the top floor that Bella wasn't allowed up there anymore. No one stopped her before because Bella's pretty much a big deal. She walked in confidently, announcing herself as John's sister, the daughter of the family. Who wouldn't treat her with respect? But during her time in the administration department, she hardly did any work. Others covered for her. She basically came to the company to show off, not really to work. Who else would be silly enough to bring a designer bag to the office? After lunch, I kept my promise and dragged John to the mall, buying him 10 dress shirts in one go. John was thrilled, hugging me and calling me wife countless times. How can my wife be so thoughtful? She got me so many shirts. Starting tomorrow, I'll wear a different one each day for 10 days straight. In the evening, John's dad called and wanted us to come over for dinner. On the way, I kept guessing the meaning behind his call. Did Bella complain to him? Is he going to back her up? I curiously asked John. He was focused on driving. Don't worry, babe. If Bella twisted things to make him mad at you, she'll only hurt herself. With John's resilience, I didn't doubt his words for a second. We arrived home right during dinner time. John's dad didn't say much, but Bella's mom kept adding food to my plate, urging me to eat more. John stopped her. Aunt Mary, save it. My wife doesn't like others picking food for her. But she's eating so happily when you do it, Bella snapped, looking irritated. John didn't even blink. Am I someone else? I'm her husband. Bella was speechless, angrily leaving the table. Bella's just being childish, Emma, don't take it to heart. John's earlier comment might have been harsh, but Bella couldn't take it, yet Mary acted like nothing happened. What surprised me was, after dinner, she pulled out a brand new Chanel bag. I got this as a wedding gift for you, though I planned to give it to you last time. Too bad John and I stayed at the old family house for just one night before taking off. It'll be the same, and I hope you don't mind. Mom, you gave her the Chanel bag Dad gave you? Bella jumped in from God knows where, yelling furiously. She probably really loved the Chanel brand and must have complained to Mary, but for some reason, Mary didn't take her side. Now that her mom was giving the bag to me, Bella couldn't hold it in any longer. It's just a bag. Stop being so petty. Mary reprimanded. Bella's eyes were red with anger. How can this bag be the same as others? Plus, you know my bag got cut up by her. I was completely speechless. What do you mean it was your bag that got cut? It wasn't John who did it? Weren't you the one that messed up first? I know your character well. It's already good enough your sister-in-law didn't ask you to apologize. Mary ignored Bella's objections and forced the bag into my hands. I opened my mouth to refuse, but John came over, took it from me, and said, "Thanks, Aunt. This bag is great, I'll keep it for my wife." Puzzled, I glanced at John, but he gave me a reassuring look. Once Mary dragged Bella away, John explained, "She doesn't want to stir up trouble with us. Refusing it would make her think you're holding a grudge against Bella." Does our relationship with Bella matter enough for grudges? Would Mary even care to intervene? When we first got married, Mary barely paid me any attention. So her behavior today is really odd. John gave a mysterious smile. She doesn't want to get on our bad side now. What do you mean by that? I'm not following. You'll figure it out soon. John didn't explain further, but he was in a great mood and suggested staying the night at the old family house. John's dad acted somewhat aloof during dinner, likely upset about us leaving abruptly last time. Alright, one night it is. Anyway, Bella can't barge into our room and bother us anymore. Last night, John piled up my plate with food, and I accidentally ate too much and felt stuffed. So when he went to shower, I went downstairs for a stroll, 'cause I'm not too familiar with John's old family house, you know? As I was walking in the garden, I suddenly heard Bella arguing with her mom. "Mom, what the heck are you thinking? Why'd you give Emma that bag? Where does that leave me?" It made me chuckle. How obsessed can someone be with Chanel if she's still hung up on that bag? Then it hit me. Bella does love that bag, sure, but she's mostly upset about Mary trying to cozy up to me. She must feel betrayed. Mary's voice sounded pretty annoyed too. "Why are you going on and on? It's just a bag. I told you to learn well at the company, and how did you promise me? Then look what you did." Learn? Learn what? Running errands like everyone else. It's not about learning errands, it's about taking my brother for myself. Once I become John's wife, who cares about the admin department? I knew Bella wasn't over John. I just didn't know she'd be so bold. It's like she's already got John in the bag. Haven't you realized John isn't into you? He's just temporarily infatuated with Emma. He'll see I'm way better than her. Wow, Bella's confident, huh? But Mary's been married into John's family for almost a decade. Her liking for John wasn't recent. All this time, she couldn't win John over. Instead, John seemed to dislike her quite a bit. Why does she think she's better than me and that John would fall for her? Not keen on hearing Bella's declarations of love for John, I wanted to leave. Suddenly, I heard Mary lower her voice. "I wanted you to marry John so that you'd have a rightful place here and enjoy John's family's wealth. But there's a better way, no need to win John over." What does that mean? What plan? Even I was curious about what Mary's plan was. "I'm pregnant." What? Bella's voice rose, then seemed muffled by Mary. "Keep it down. No one knows yet." My heart raced, and my mind went into overdrive. Mary and John's dad have been remarried for years, and nothing seemed to happen, so I thought she'd never get pregnant. Looks like I was wrong. I don't want a brother. I only care about John. I want to be his wife. "Mom, you said you'd help me before." Bella wasn't happy about Mary's pregnancy, even a bit angry. What's so great about John? He never shows you a good face, always so mean. Stop thinking about him. I'll find you someone better in the future. I don't want that. Bella, stop being so headstrong. John isn't right for you. I didn't want to hear more, so I decided to go tell John the news. As I turned to leave, I accidentally stepped on a dry branch. The sound startled Mary and Bella. Who's there? I tried to calm down my nerves and walked out. It's me. Just walking around after too much food. Walking, or hiding to eavesdrop? Bella marched over, glaring at me intensely. I raised my brows, pretending I didn't hear. Is there anything worth eavesdropping on? Why not say it out loud to me? Emma, did you really not hear us? Mary asked, staring deeply. Wow, that's simple. Heard it or not heard it, pretty straightforward. Are you guys talking about John and don't want me, his wife, to know? Mary gave a reluctant smile. You're overthinking it, nothing like that. Then I won't disturb you. I'll go around again. Anxious, but determined not to give anything away, I made a couple of rounds in the garden. By the time I was going to go back inside, they'd already vanished. I hurried upstairs where John had already finished his shower and drying his hair. As soon as I entered, he hugged me. Where did you go, honey? I called you, but you left your phone. I went to walk off some food. You won't believe what I just heard. I told John about Mary being pregnant, and to my surprise, he wasn't shocked at all. She's been making all kinds of efforts to get pregnant for years. Hospital visits were just the beginning. She's prayed at who knows how many temples. Finally, she got her wish. You knew? She didn't want me to know, but come on, with skills like mine, it's hard not to. There was a smirk in John's voice. What's with the pride? I smacked my forehead, half exasperated, half amused. Aren't you worried about the baby she's expecting? Not at all, I'm hoping she goes through with it. Is there something fishy about her kid? Otherwise, why would John act this way? He's never so generous to anyone else except me. My wife's smart. John leaned over and kissed me. I pushed him away. Stop changing the topic, what's up? John whispered something into my ear, and my eyes went wide. She's way too gutsy. Gutsy? What she did to my mom to climb up was way worse. I gasped. Are you saying Mary killed your mom? How could she? John's face darkened. For power and wealth, what wouldn't she dare do? Feeling a bit sad, I hugged John. You've been through a lot, hubby. But don't stress, I'll always be by your side now. John didn't say much, just wrapped his arms around me, resting his head on my shoulder. We decided not to scare the prey off and let Mary have the baby. But who knew, the next day disaster struck. Bella, from behind, pushed me, causing me to crash into Mary. Mary screamed as she fell down the stairs, the floor quickly stained with her blood. I turned to Bella, shocked. Is she nuts? She knows her mom's pregnant. But Bella just gave me a cold smile, then rushed down, crying and screaming, Mom, are you okay? You're bleeding so much. Will my brother be all right? Lying there, Mary could barely speak from the pain. She's no spring chicken, and pregnancy isn't easy. Falling down the stairs, losing this much blood, the chances of saving the baby are slim. Bella was kneeling beside Mary, holding her, looking up at me, her voice trembling. Why'd you push Mom? Just because you heard she was pregnant, you can't stand a baby? And here it is, Bella's next move. John and I weren't planning anything against Mary, we even wanted her to have the baby. But who'd think her own daughter Bella would do such a thing first, destroying her brother herself? Bella, what are you talking about? Pregnant, pushed her. Peter had woken up and was watching financial shows on the couch. He ran over, bewildered. Bella was gasping through tears. Dad, you remember I said I'd have a surprise for you today, right? The surprise is Mom's pregnant. She's been waiting nearly 10 years for this child. I didn't expect my sister-in-law to eavesdrop last night. But I There's no way she could accept even an unborn child. Bella's words hit Peter, his gaze shifting sharply to me. You pushed Peter? You don't want her to have my baby? Dad, let's not worry about who pushed whom right now. Isn't calling an ambulance more important when someone's life is at stake? Mary was in so much pain she couldn't even speak, and nobody called an ambulance? That's just ridiculous. Peter went over and picked Mary up, but before leaving, he warned me, you better pray my aunt's okay, or you're out of this house. By the time John and I finally got to the hospital, Mary's baby was already gone. Bella and John's dad were waiting outside the hospital room. Bella ran up to hit me when she saw us. How could you be so cruel, Emma? My brother was just an embryo. Are you so scared he'd come out and take over the family business? John put his arm up and pushed her away. Bella, stop being hysterical. Try laying a finger on my wife. Bella was taken aback by John's expression, stepping back with soft sobs. Brother, don't let Emma trick you. She killed my brother and broke my mom's leg. John's dad also stepped forward, glaring at us angrily. John, is this the wife you chose? She killed my son, she's a viper. John's dad was panting heavily. If looks could kill, I'd probably be ashes by now. John chuckled, casually pulling me closer by the waist. Dad, why are you in such a hurry? Are you sure who's the viper here? You should stop defending Emma, she's truly not a good woman. John's dad finally voiced his true feelings. I wanted you to marry Bella, but no, you brought home a viper. If you don't divorce her today, don't call yourself my son. Hearing that from someone else might sound crazy, but coming from John's dad, it didn't even feel surprising. Still, I wasn't willing to bear this baseless accusation. Dad, are you going to believe Bella's accusation just because she said so? Is there any footage from the house cameras? Where's the evidence? Bella probably checked every camera in the house before making a move. After I mentioned this, she quickly chimed in, Emma, you know what you're doing. The cameras downstairs work, but where you made your move is just a blind spot. So that's why you're saying it was me? Weren't you there too? Do you think I would push my mom? I've been wishing for a brother or sister for ages, unlike you. Bella hypocritically shot back at me. Bella, enough. This needs to go to the police. I don't care if Emma is my daughter-in-law. If she killed my son, there's no way John can protect her. John's dad supported Bella and was ready to call the police immediately. Dad, it's a family matter. Shouldn't we handle it ourselves instead of calling the cops? John gently reminded his dad. But John's dad was adamant about involving the police this time. Are you scared now? Unfortunately, it's too late. John smiled quietly, not saying much. The police arrived quickly. The John family was somewhat prominent, but now a scandal about a daughter-in-law allegedly trying to harm her stepmother's unborn child was erupting. Chances were, by tomorrow, John and I would be the subject of ridicule. Yet with John here, I didn't feel scared at all. John's dad indignantly charged me with crimes before the police, eager for my immediate arrest. Bella also dabbed her eyes dry, casting me a triumphant look. Finally, after John's dad finished, it was our turn. John handed over a set of screenshots to the police. The cameras downstairs were set up years ago. Last year, I thought their coverage was inadequate, so I added a few more. The confident Bella suddenly froze. What do you mean, added more? It means exactly that. The new cameras cover every corner of the second floor, including the stairway. I installed tiny cameras, almost unnoticeable. They've been there for a year and no one noticed. No, impossible. Why are you so anxious, Bella? Shouldn't you be relieved that there's footage of my alleged crime, proving your claims? I asked deliberately. John took a glance at pale-faced Bella. This video clears my wife, Emma, while proving that Bella was the one who tried to abort her brother. Of course, she's not at ease. No, I didn't. It wasn't me. Bella denied in panic. We'll see, won't we? Maybe your mom never imagined that her difficult pregnancy would end because of her own daughter, John remarked. John's dad looked at Bella with an expression as if he was seeing her for the first time. Bella, is what John says true? That was your brother. John's dad cherished Mary, naturally. He was also fond of Mary's unborn child. Even if it was just an embryo, even if we couldn't save it. John observed his dad switch sides with a meaningful smile on his face. Dad, though Bella's brother, it might not be your son. Don't jump the gun with Bella. John, what nonsense are you spouting? Peter erupted in fury. John then produced a medical report, presenting it to Peter. Your report says you've been sterile for a while. So why was Mary pregnant then? Even the police assigned to note the details were now all ears. Who wouldn't want to hear about such an intriguing family drama? What? Sterile? How's that possible? John's dad was infuriated. Did you tamper with the report? I was fine at my last checkup. If you don't believe it, how about another test? But I was indeed curious about Mary's child. Finding out you were cuckolded wouldn't have the same impact as learning that the child you loved wasn't yours at all. You've known all along? Did you set me up? John's dad was livid. John, you unfilial brat, you'll get what's coming to you. John tooted dismissively, you're mad at me for pointing this out? It's Mary you should be mad at, isn't it? You might even find relief that it's not your kid. Can you imagine mourning a long-awaited child only to find out that your own daughter killed it out of jealousy? Isn't this better? As for the karma bit, well, my karma will be a loving wife and a full house. Yours might look a lot like living out the rest of your days in prison, being a murderer's accomplice. Those last 4 words were quietly said, but they hit John's dad so hard he staggered back. I don't understand what you're saying. No biggie, the police do. I have evidence ready, and you can continue loving Mary in prison too. John had clearly prepared thoroughly before coming. By the time Bella acted, he was ready to blow it all open. Or maybe, he had waited for almost a decade for this day. After submitting the evidence to the police, we left the hospital. Stepping out the door, a cool breeze hit me, and I shivered a little. Quickly, John opened his suit jacket and wrapped it around me. Babe, were you scared just now? He asked softly, his eyes soft, almost watery. I rested my head against his chest, listening to his heartbeat. You didn't say last night that your dad was the one who caused Grandma's death. It was Mary who directly did it, but he hinted at it to her. After she pushed my mom down the stairs, he even faked it to look like she jumped herself. Actually, my mom and he had been separated for a while because he cheated, and my mom got severe depression. Hearing John's words made my heart ache for him. When did you find out the truth? I had suspected her death wasn't that simple for a long time, but I was too young at the time to confront him. I spent a lot of effort looking for evidence. In the end, it paid off. Thanks to Bella, too. If she hadn't tried to frame you for hurting her mom, I would have had to wait until that little brat was born. I tiptoed to kiss his cheek. Honey, it's all in the past now. Let's visit Grandma and share this good news with her. Yeah. After we got back from the cemetery, John received a call. When Mary woke up, she found out Bella pushed her. She lost the baby, and now she's facing legal consequences. She thought her position was getting secure, but her own daughter ruined it. In a fit of rage, Mary stabbed Bella with a fruit knife. They're tearing each other apart. It's all karma.